Hey there, it's Rick. Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, whenever you happen to be watching this. This is 25 minutes from Nashville, and today we are going to talk about first impressions. You know, acting like you belong, not geeking out in front of industry people or famous people, and making that first impression. You know, we're going to cover a lot of ground, and the reason we're going to do that this week here in Nashville is what's called CRS Week. It's Country Radio Seminar. And it's where all the major important players in the radio world come into Nashville, and the labels are showcasing new artists. They're really trying to show you what they've got coming out, what they're working on. It's a chance for all the big superstars to say thank you to radio for all of their support. There's some great panels, some great discussions. So I don't want to say anybody who's anybody, but you know, the people who can make a difference in your life are here this week. And what happens when this week comes along is also there's a feeding frenzy with independent artists who, without knowing it and who are being given bad advice, can do major damage to their career before their career even gets started. So what I want to do today is give you some hints and advice. And then I also want to talk about, I just got off the phone with one of my music industry blueprint members, Brittany Bexton. And Brittany was contacted and has interviewed a couple times with an independent label who's interested in working with her. And whenever someone calls and asks me about anything, one of the first things I do, if not the first, is I go online to see what their online impression looks like. Because if they don't come across professional online, which is for the whole world to see, that's a telltale sign. And a lot of people don't think so, but it is. It's a telltale sign of what's to come. If they don't take the responsibility of looking professional and up to date for their own product, why are they going to do that for your product? So let's start with CRS, some of the do's and the don'ts. First off, leave your CDs and your music at home. They did not come here to discover you. They came here to build relationships and further the relationships that they have. Are they interested in making new relationships? Absolutely, but only with people that act like they belong. You could be sitting downstairs at the Renaissance Hotel and hand somebody a CD, and I guarantee you 99.9% of the time that CD never even makes it back to their room. It ends up in the trash. Not because they don't think that it might be the best CD that they've ever heard. That's just not why they're there. And most of them aren't going to sit around. Most of them are drunk, by the way. I mean, it's a big drunk fest here at CRS. A lot of people go hang out at what's called the Bridge Bar just to try to get some contact with somebody that might be able to help them. And half the time the people don't even remember the conversation. So don't hand out CDs. Everyone's going to have a name tag on. Write down their name when you get a chance and go follow them on Twitter, like them on Facebook. Most of these people have social media sites that you can follow up and connect with them there. It goes back to building that relationship first. Also, too, is if you see a label person, don't geek out. You know, just act like you belong. You know, their name's on there. Go, hey, Scott, how you doing? You know, just act like you know them. They meet everybody, so they're just going to assume they're going to go, hey, how are you? Half the time they won't go, I don't know who you are. Who are you? No, they'll nod and go right along. And that goes a long way, especially if they're, you know, standing with maybe a big program director of a radio station. You showed proper etiquette. You acted like you belonged. You didn't geek out. Also, too, if you're an independent artist or you manage an independent artist, do not stand downstairs looking, if you're a girl, looking like a hoe. And I have no other way to say it. There have been some crazy folks down there, you know, and their manager's sitting over there and the manager's doing all the talking, all this kind of stuff. You know what? Leave your manager behind. Unless your manager knows a bunch of people and can introduce you to a bunch of people, leave them behind. You go out and just kind of take a look, scope it out, see what's happening. Go up if you see other artists and you walk across and you see it's Tim McGraw, and I'll just use him as an example. Just say, you know, hey, Tim, how are you? That's it. Don't go, oh my God, I'm your biggest fan. Oh my God, I would love to open for you. Oh, here's my music. Would you listen to my music? No, they won't listen to your music. So don't waste that time. Act like you belong. But that's what you should be doing in life. You know, I remember when I used to try to sneak into clubs when I was younger. And kids, I'm not encouraging you to do this. But we used to say, if you act like you belong, you belong. If a 21-year-old wouldn't act that way, you shouldn't act that way, because it's a telltale sign. If you want to be a star one day, act like a star. If you want to be equals with them, act like you're equals with them now. Okay, so that's just kind of a little CRS tidbit there. The next thing is, for most of you artists, a lot of people don't get a chance to listen to CDs anymore. Matter of fact, my CD player doesn't even work. It's got 4 CDs in it that I can't get out yet. But what's that allowed me to do? It's allowed me to do these videos. So that was probably God's way of saying, hey, dude, you need to, start creating more content. So that's what I'm doing. But what I do is, when somebody says, hey, I'm in the music business, would you check out my stuff? The first thing I ask them, and I'm training other people to ask them, is, what's your website? Then when I get to your website, please do not make it hard for me to hear your music. Make sure that if your music is not on the front page, make sure that there's at least a button or some place that sends me to where I can hear it. Another bit of advice I'll give you, don't give me samples, give me the whole thing. What are you holding back for? What are you teasing on? For a long time, people were like, oh, you only have to give samples. There's too many places and choices for me to go listen to music. What am I going to spend a day listening to samples? No, I want to enjoy the song. I want to get to the bridge. I want to hear everything you have to offer. If you've gotten my attention and I've gotten to that place where I can listen to your music, that may be the only chance you ever get to share your music with me. You better give me all of it. It may be the only chance that you have to show me what you look like in video. It may be the only chance you get to show me what's going on with your social media sites. So make sure that they're rock solid before you start inviting people there. And you're going to say, well, Rick, I didn't invite you there. You asked me for the information. Ta-da. So before you get yourself prepared, don't go out and start advertising to me that you're an artist. Because when you tell me, hey, I'm an artist, you're telling me I'm ready to compete with Taylor and Carrie and Tim and Rascal and Bruno Mars and everyone else, because that's what you're saying when you walk into a radio station, because that's who you are competing with. You're competing for airtime with those artists. So if you want to be considered in the same breath as those artists, the easiest thing you can do is you can compete with them online. Excuse me. As far as your presentation goes, you can look like a major label rock star. That's up to you. Just make sure you've got the right people teaching you how to do that. The next thing I want to talk about real quick is I want to talk about independent record labels. There are some amazing people out there wanting to try and help make a difference in the lives of independent artists, and I applaud them. What happens when I get a call from an artist that says, hey, have you heard of this company? The first thing I do, you got it, I go to their website. And if their website looks like it was built in 1991, I usually tell the artist, I don't know if this is the right label for you, because I don't know if they can compete in today's music business. And I don't say that to be mean. I just told Brittany earlier, I said, look, they've never had a hit, but it doesn't mean you can't be their first. There always has to be a first for something. You know what I'm saying? There's always a first something. Why shouldn't that first be you? But what you want to make sure is that they have the resources in place in order to help get you there. Or if they don't, do they have an exit plan where you can get out of your deal and, maybe partner with a label, find out what their buyout is. But the first things first, independent labels, make sure that you have the funding and the resources in place to be able to compete at a major level, because whether you're an independent or a major, it still costs the same. If the majors aren't cutting shortcuts with their product, you can't cut shortcuts, if that even makes sense, with your product, or take shortcuts. You know, if it takes a record label with a full staff, years of experience, years of relationships, $500,000 to break an artist, it's probably going to take you $1 million, because you don't have their years of experience and their relationships. People that try to do it inexpensive sometimes end up coming across as an inexpensive product. You do not want to be an inexpensive product. And with the tools that are available today, you can look rock star. You can deliver quality. You can do it at an affordable price. I don't think everything the labels spend on should be spent on. So yeah, there's a way to compete in there. You've just got to make sure that you have someone that's helping guide you in that direction. So I hope this has helped. If you have any questions, if you would like to have conversations with me, it's real easy. Go to musicindustryblueprint.com. It's my website. You can always email me, rick@rickbarker.com. I do offer a free video series on the website. First video, at least the video that's there now, because that could change depending on when you watch this, are 7 keys for increasing your odds in the music business. And it's a free video. Just go tell me where to send it and I'll get that off to you. So have yourself a good one. Get out there. Don't make a fool out of yourself, and take control of what it is that you can control. And that's your look, that's your image, that's your appearance, that's your online presence. All right, you guys have a great one. Ciao.